All right, folks. Well, for those of you listening live, you've been confused for about 45 seconds, but apparently I hadn't fixed what I thought I had fixed behind the scene on the other program that we have been using, or the other operating or web browsing program that I typically use to broadcast. I thought I fixed it, so I wanted to pull it up and test it, and then realized very quickly that I probably should have made sure that it was reading the mic before I hit start. Anyway, so it's Friday night. It's time for Robinson and Wright. We have actually been taking a bit of an extended break because football season has started, and, every time I think I'm going to be home in time to do a show, I'm not. So anyway, I'm joined by the other half of the crew, Mr. Dan Wright. I, of course, am Mr. Rick Robinson. I just have to say this before I turn the mic over to Dan. We are now 2-0 for the season. My boys just beat the team that beat them twice and knocked them out of their chance at the playoffs last year. So, things are looking pretty good. I did also just find out that apparently we have one more home game. So, yeah, we may be a few minutes late next week, too. Just saying. And I thought Dan was here. Dan?
I'm here.
Oh, you are here. I heard a door. I thought maybe you'd given up and left me.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I was like, these technical problems just need to stop, Rick.
Yeah, I know.
I'm out of here.
This stupid producer sucks at his job. Oh, wait, I'm talking about myself in the third person. I get mad at people when they do that. Never mind. Sorry,
But,
I'm a little hyper today. So.
I'm here in Cleveland, North Carolina, in what is usually your territory. Apparently right now we're the heart of tornado country.
Did you just say Cleveland, North Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was a Cleveland, North Carolina.
Yes, there is.
I was like, wow.
We have, I think we have 2 police cars and about 1,000 square foot police department, and every house has a lot of land. And the tornado siren went off tonight.
Nice. So that's why you were putting out the tweet about weather permitting.
Yeah.
Dan was like, I don't think I'm in Cleveland anymore. This looks like Oz.
So, and congrats to your boy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good, actually, because not only did we beat them pretty good. It was 21-7, and they completely stomped us second game of the season last year, and then they were the team that eventually knocked us out of our shot at the playoffs at the end of the season. So the bad news is, now they know we're here to play, so the next game, because we always play them twice, is probably going to be a lot harder, but it was fun to watch. But anyway, I digress. Nobody tunes in on Friday nights to hear me talk about high school football, so... What do you want to talk about first? Because it's been, 2-3 weeks since we've done this thing, so there's been like a million different news stories.
We've been off the last couple weeks. There's so much. We have the alt-right and Antifa. That's a pretty sore subject with everybody, or a fun subject, no matter how you want to look at it.
Yeah, I guess the
I don't even know how to express what I think of both sides right now.
I guess the interesting thing for me when it comes to Antifa is the fact that they finally managed to somehow lose Jurassic era Barbie. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Nancy Pelosi.
The stuff in Berkeley, and then watching certain media outlets and certain even politicians excuse it or try to say that it really wasn't as bad as it looked. And I don't know. It was terrible. When Nancy Pelosi comes out and just totally denounces it, then you know that it's a problem. Yet some of the media outlets are still like, oh, no, it was mostly peaceful.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
as people that aren't even completely white are getting put into comas, because they're apparently white supremacists. Where is this all going? They're going to start excusing it. They're excusing it like it's no big deal.
Well, what I think is funny about the whole Antifa thing is, in the span of about a week, we've had a very liberal mayor call for them to be named a gang because they show up in uniforms in large groups. They've lost Jurassic era Barbie. Eddie Munster has spoken out against them. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Paul Ryan. So I just, as much as it pains me to say this, I want to know when President Trump is going to get an apology for basically calling them a terrorist group and being told that he was a racist because he called them a terrorist group, when there are people that are now basically, that were rooting for them 5 seconds ago, that are now all of a sudden calling them a terrorist group.
Well, yeah.
Funny how that happens.
How does it make them racist is what I want to know.
But
they're to be honest with you, if you look at them, they're mostly white. So how is the President of the United States calling a mostly white communist group that uses violence to get their message across, how does that make him racist?
I really can't say that I understand that either. Speaking of them, though, and I can't remember the name of the group that's put it together. You might. The YouTube video with the redneck guys that are making fun of Antifa.
Oh, we were actually, just a few hours ago, some friends of mine and I, we were sitting out on the front porch watching all of their videos. They're all incredibly hilarious. And it's a couple of 3%ers, which I consider myself. And basically what a 3%er is somebody that believes in the Constitution and working hard and earning what you get. And they put out the most hilarious videos just slamming Antifa and Black Lives Matter for that much. But their name is totally escaping me now, or his name, the kind of the ringleader. That these videos are not only hilarious, but like 100% truth.
So I only have one question, because I've only seen the one. There was one that was being passed around in some of the groups that we were in. When the hell did Kenny from South Park join Antifa? Because the dude that keeps coming on and talking about, we must rise together, it looks like Kenny in black. I mean, it literally looks like the live action version of Kenny from South Park. Dude's got what looks like some sort of a muffle thing over his mouth. You can barely understand what he's saying. He's dressed in all black with the hood down. I swear to God, I kept waiting for Cartman to come around going, "Oh my God, you bastards! You've killed Kenny!" I'm like, what the hell is this? When the hell? I mean, really? I mean, it's just it's insane.
Well, and the funniest part of that video is watching the Antifa guy trying to load a magazine into what looks like kind of a mini AK, and he can't get it to go in. He's going, and this is how you load the clip. First of all, he says clip. This is how you load the clip, and he can't get it in. He cannot. He's like, I've done this before. I know what goes in here, and he cannot get the magazine to load into the AK. And then it pans to our 3%er guys, and the one guy's down on a knee with an AR in his hand, and he's like, really? It's not that hard. And he takes the magazine, he puts it in, he slaps it into place, he throws it to the other guy, and the other guy pulls up, ready to shoot, and he goes, oh, wait, stop. Safety first. And he puts in his earplugs, and then he tells him to go ahead, and the guy pops off the whole magazine in about 10 seconds. It's just, these videos are actually brilliant.
Well, not to take this show in a direction it may not need to go, but what the hell, it's late night. I'm pretty sure that's not the first time dudes had a problem with inserting tab A into slot B. I'm just saying.
I don't know that he's ever had a chance to before.
Tomato. Just say, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, either he does it, he probably couldn't do it, never had the opportunity to do it. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe that's why he joined Antifa. Maybe, hey, I'm gonna join this hate group right here. I might get some chicks.
Well, it's funny. Everybody needs to search this. The video is basically I mean, if you just search making fun of Antifa, it's the first video that'll come up. And yes, Kenny from South Park is sitting there talking, and they're cutting away from him, and they come back, and he's got his hood on around his face, and these two guys come back, and they're wearing bras and panties around their heads, mocking him.
It was hilarious. I haven't seen any updates from them, but I went ahead and subscribed to the channel. I was so impressed by just the one that I'd seen a few seconds of. I was like, yep, gonna have to keep up with those boys. But that is basically where we are right now. Is we're surrounded by crazy, and all you can really do at this point is either laugh and make fun of them or just go nuts.
Well, he has a BLM post, a BLM video, and the video is called "Being Lazy Matters."
Yeah, no, it really doesn't.
And he has got a good take on stuff. I mean, he does one video with his son that's hilarious, and it's comedic, and it really drives a point home. Every single video does. But yes, that one making fun of Antifa video, it had me on the floor. I think I watched it like 10 or 12 times.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I mean, it was gut reaction. The first time they cut to old boy wrapped up in black and talking, I was like, oh my God, it's Kenny from South Park. I don't know.
Yes, that's a fantastic analogy right there.
It reminds me.
And
go ahead.
Well, I like there's the one point too where they're doing the impression, and the one guy has the handgun in his hand, and he starts waving it around, and he shoots the ceiling, and falls out of his chair, and the other guy goes, "Man, Mom's gonna kill us! You put a hole in the ceiling." It's just the whole thing. The whole thing was just perfectly put together. And that's the whole thing. And you watch these guys, these Antifa guys, and their videos. And on Facebook, I follow Antifa Boston, and I love it because they post these videos, and they're just so cringeworthy. And they're these guys, and the impression you get is the actual guy in mommy's basement, but out in public, they're freaking dangerous. They're putting people in the hospital. They're putting people just off of guessing. I mean, that guy looks like an alt-righter. Well, what does an alt-righter look like? Most of them are wearing button-down shirts and khaki pants. So really, who's an alt-righter? Who's a Nazi? Who knows? They're just attacking people on their looks.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, hang on.
I'm a white guy in cowboy boots. I'm a white guy in cowboy boots. That must make me some kind of racist or something. Am I going to get attacked by him?
Well, I want.
Go ahead and attack me. I said it the other night. I have an equalizer.
Well, I want to back up to something you just said for a second, because I want to let this sink in for folks that it may have sailed right over their head. The same party that keeps telling us that skin color doesn't matter, looks don't matter, it only matters what's on the inside, are now lashing out and attacking people for what they look like on the outside. So who exactly was it they've been trying to convince this entire time? Because it wasn't me, because I didn't need any convincing. I'm the first one to tell you that Martin Luther King meant exactly what he said when he started talking about that he prayed for a time that his children and his children's children could be judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. That is something that I have always lived by, because it's something that resonated with me. I didn't need to be reminded that skin color shouldn't matter, and what matters is what's on the inside, because that's what I was taught. So when all of these people who have been doing this for all of these decades are now the ones that are lashing out and beating the crap out of people just because of what they look like, who have they been trying to convince all the time that it was what was on the inside that matters? Was it us or them? Because it seems like a lot of us already knew the memo, and they seem to have missed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, And if you do it, if it's done in one direction, it's racism. If it's done in the other direction, for some reason, it's justice. That's kind of what I gather. I mean, you know, I've seen you say it, I've said it. You know, at this point, it's almost like you just want to sit back and go, okay, fine, whatever. I'm a racist, Nazi, homophobic, misogynist. That's what I am, apparently, because I just keep getting called that.
Okay,
I can't have an opinion. I can't have an opinion on anything. If my opinion moves slightly in one direction on anything, I'm automatically a racist, or I'm automatically a Nazi, or I'm automatically an alt-righter, or I'm automatically a homophobe, or I'm automatically a misogynist. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. It almost gets to the point where you just want to be like, okay, fine, I accept that. Whatever. If that's the way you want to think of me, that's fine.
So
then you get like that with them, and they're like, see, now you're just going to be all sarcastic. Well, yeah. That's what I'm going to be.
Remind me to kill Gay Patriot later. I shared the pain, by the way. You should check the DM I just sent you from the station account.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I literally was like, oh my god, I can't believe... It's terrible. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked by shiny things. Dan's over here trying to make a point, and I'm trying not to throw up in my mouth. Damn you, Gay Patriot. Alright, so anyway. Actually, Alan...
Oh my lord.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I took a look.
Sorry, I told you I had to share the pain. Alan, actually, one of the chats has a pretty good sentiment on that. He said, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of time before Antifa attacks. And then he said A, and then I don't know. I think maybe he was driving and couldn't finish the sentence, so I'm not sure where he was going with it. But I do agree, because it's pretty much just a matter of time before they attack anybody, because they're so angry. And here's the thing. What do these morons even have to be angry about? Most of them don't go to school. They don't work. They live in mom's basement. They have a lifetime supply of Cheetos, apparently, and they like to sit naked in a beanbag. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I stole that from Ron White. I should probably not do that.
Well, yeah, it's, you know, and you'll hear them complain about capitalism as they're sitting there on their MacBook Pro with their, you know, with their cam and making their videos, you know, and you see the background and they've got their stereo systems and they've got everything capitalism gives you. But they sit there and they complain about capitalism, how it's hurting. Yeah, is capitalism hurting real bad? How much right now is being donated and just supported by capitalism in Texas? Yeah, Home Depot. I saw the CEO of Home Depot on TV yesterday morning. They are matching donations from all their employees. Anything any of their employees donate, the corporation is matching, and they have literally pooled every generator from every store they can get and are putting together materials and sending and paying for employees that have trade knowledge to go out there and paying them to go out there and work and help solve problems. That's capitalism at work. You know, these greedy capitalists. Now you have these companies, Caterpillar, they donated $300,000 in cash, and they are sending out massive diesel generators in to not just help power neighborhoods, but to also help move water, help run machinery to move water, everything else. That's capitalism giving back. and they're so against capitalism, but it gives you what you want in life. And when something like Houston, Texas happens, they are there to give back to the community. And it's what they do. And that stuff never gets noticed by these little Antifa twerps.
I swear I had a thought. There was something I was going to say, and now it's just gone. I swear to God, that picture from Gay Patriot is completely melted in my brain.
Yeah, and you see, I mean, he posted right after, he said, I've posted this before, folks.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean I've seen it before. Oh my God. I mean, that's one of those what has been seen cannot be unseen. It's, ugh. Ugh. Okay, so let's change topics.
Bruce is pretty good at breaking Twitter.
He's pretty good at breaking my train of thought too. But anyway, it was something to do. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. I was going to finish Al's thought because it finally came through. I don't know if there was a delay on our end or what happened. But his thought process was it's only a matter of time before Antifa attacks a concealed carrier, and then guns will be to blame.
Right. Yeah, I said that. I was in a thread the other day, and I said that. I said what's going to happen is they're going to attack somebody like me, and they're going to keep going, and they're going to take it too far, and I'm going to pull. Whether I shoot or not depends on whether I really feel like my life is in danger. If I feel like my life is in danger, I am going to shoot somebody. And if I shoot somebody, then I am going to be the crazy right-wing nut job, gun-toting weirdo, and it's going to be the gun's fault. It's going to be totally the gun's fault, because if I didn't have the gun, I wouldn't have been able to shoot the poor innocent little Antifa douche that's smacking me with a baton or a freaking aluminum baseball bat. Bring a bat to a gunfight, you're going to lose.
I'm suddenly flashing back to was that the original Indiana Jones, or was that the second one where the dude's like standing there swinging the sword back and forth, all the fancy moves, and Harrison just pulls, boom, done.
Pulls his 38 and shoots it and shrugs.
The funny thing about that was it was almost an aside to Star Wars, because there was a very similar scene with him in that movie too. So that was always kind of funny to me. It was like it was just, I don't know. Most people probably didn't see the connection, but I'm just weird like that.
No, I know that because, I'm a Star Wars geek.
Oh, man. All right, so to change topics a little bit, but only a little bit, because it's kind of the same kind of situation, but kind of from reverse. Anybody remember when the Charlie Hebdo folks got attacked and the whole world mourned, and everybody put the little filters on their Avis and on their Facebook photos that made everybody have a French flag look, and everybody changed their name to the French for "We're All Charlie" and blah 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 blah, French toast eating mofos. Anyway, so apparently when they had a chance to return the favor, they decided to post a cartoon of a bunch of people waving Nazi flags, drowning, and said, apparently God is drowning the Nazis in Texas. Or something similar, because I've only bothered to look at the cartoon once. I have to tell you, after at least one, maybe twice that I know of, that this country has saved those frog leg eating morons, I think if it happens again, we let them burn.
I was pretty incensed when I saw that cartoon. I mean, I posted something that said, it was basically something along the lines of, do you realize how many of those Texans probably mourned when your headquarters was shot up. But, you do you.
Yeah, I mean, people all over
Yeah,
the world joined in solidarity.
apparently gun-toting Americans are all Nazis as far as the rest of the world is concerned.
Yeah, well, they can think whatever they want. I honestly don't care. And that's kind of the gist of it too, because now that the noise is coming out with the talk of possibly getting rid of the DACA stuff and everything else, now everybody's throwing around the racist card again. Well, if you're against this, then you're a racist. The funny thing is, because this is their only card they have left, and they've overplayed it, because it used to work so well in small groups when they could get you isolated and get you by yourself and be like, well, you're just a racist because you think blah, 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 blah. But now they're trying to do it on a national scale, and they're falling on their faces because nobody gives a damn anymore if you call them a racist. And as much as that's a good thing, because we've always overreacted to that term, in my opinion, because we have a group of people that are the ancestors of people that were slaves that think they are owed something from the ancestors of people that have never owned slaves, and those people themselves have never been slaves, but their ancestors were both, and so they think they're owed something. And I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of the fact that just because I disagree with you about something, and because I believe that the Constitution should be followed, and I'm one of the handful that I know that have been fairly consistent with that, because a good lot of the supposed conservative Republicans now all of a sudden, if Trump does something, it doesn't matter how constitutional it is, because it's their guy is the one with the pen. So when he starts talking about undoing something that was a major power grab and a major violation of the Constitution, I'm perfectly okay with it, because that should have never happened in the first place. To quote Abraham Lincoln, if you want a bad law changed, the best way to change it is to enforce it to its fullest, so people realize how bad it is. So if you really want immigration changed, then you should allow it to be enforced as it stands now, so people can understand exactly how broken it is, instead of throwing open the gates. I'm so tired of that too, because all of these people that are telling us that we need to open our borders and let anybody in that wants to come in regardless. All of the people that are screaming that live in gated communities, have burglar alarms on their houses, and most of them have armed security. And they're telling us that we need to live by their rules, not ours.
Oh yeah, it's the. I mean, like I kind of brought up. I mean, if you and I have been doing this show, and just before that, doing radio together for a year now, a little over a year, and neither one of us wanted him to be president. That's just known fact. Neither one of us wanted him to be president. But I find many of the things he's doing good. They're just, he's doing the right thing in a lot of places. He obviously can put his foot in his mouth. Part of that seems to be his charm. He just kind of says what he's going to say. But I will also be critical of him. I go both ways with that. If I say anything good, I had it happen this week. I mean, I said one thing that I thought he did right. And I ended up in a thread that ended up being with like 26 other people. And I'm being called a Trump tard. Number one, if you're going to debate somebody, I mean, the first thing I said, if you're going to call me a Trump tard, then you obviously don't have the intellectual basis to debate me. But number two, if you are that far gone you are as bad as anybody who really is, and I won't even say Trump card, just a Trump cultist. You're just as bad. And I got blocked by like 15 people all at once. Like, okay, good. Good riddance. I'm glad you're gone.
Yep.
Using that kind of terminology is not helping anything.
Yeah, but that's the gist of it. I'm completely over the name calling. I mean, I watched somebody, and it was another one of the blue check mafia, and I can't think of their name, who was putting out the whole thing of, well, if you're for him doing this, then you're a racist. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have anything to do with racism. It's got to do with the rule of law. And it's because I can support the president when I agree with him, and I can try to have conversations when I don't. If that makes me a member of the Trump train, then I guess somebody better buy me a ticket, because I'm not the one paying for it, because I'm not a member of the Trump train. But if because I can be objective makes me a member of that, then I guess you can call me whatever you want to call me, because I'm not a diehard Trump sycophant. I honestly, at this point, his presidency to me so far has basically been a split decision. Because there have been plenty of things that I think he's done fairly well. There have been plenty of things that I think he's done wrong. And I will tell you that after talking to people and actually going out and communicating with people, one of the things that the people that actually voted for him like is the fact that he doesn't take crap from people. Because they've watched politicians dance around each other and be civil and do all this and do that, and then it never gets anything done. So they like the fact that he's willing to basically get into the ring and just knock the crap out of somebody in the political realm of things. And they enjoy that. And I don't know if that's a worse commentary on them, honestly, or a worse commentary on him, but it's resonating with his base, and it's resonating with the people that have voted for him. And I have to tell you, there are times when I see it. Like, there are times when he goes completely nuts, and I'm like, dude, put down Twitter. And then he'll tweet out something, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid, but that actually kind of made sense. And then he'll say something about 5 seconds later, and I'll remember why I'm not usually a fan of him being on Twitter. But I understand why he does it, because he doesn't get anything fair from the media. I mean, I've even seen a lot of people on Fox News being critical of him, no matter what he does. The only people that seem to like him are the folks in the morning and Hannity, who is like completely enamored with the guy, and then who's the new guy?
No, really?
Yeah, who for some reason I can't think of his name right now, and it's bad because it's actually a pretty popular show. He's the one that I believe stepped in when O'Reilly was kicked to the curb.
Tucker Carlson?
Yeah, that guy. I couldn't think of his name for some reason.
I really like his show, actually. I've been very pleasantly surprised by it, and glad that he replaced O'Reilly, because it's a much better show.
Yeah, I like him to a point. I have actually seen him a couple of times kind of get caught flat-footed, and I think take things a little too far on the side of the Trump train. But I like him so far. I don't get as much of a chance to watch as I had hoped that I might have, which, interestingly enough, I just found out that most of Fox News' TV shows are audio podcasts on Spreaker. I found them last night. I was kind of surprised by that. So now I have another way to catch up when I want to.
Yeah, well, it's, I mean, everybody complains about Fox. I honestly see why, like you mentioned, like Fox and Friends in the morning. It's kind of like it should be called Trump Train in the morning. But for the most part, they're fair. And the problem that people seem to have with them is that they're fair, and CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them, they're not fair. They're not fair at all. And I'm not a big Fox fan. I mean, there's some shows I like. Like, I like Tucker Carlson. I like The Five. I like The Specialists. That's a great show. They bring on people from both sides, you know, and they all talk it out. That's the way it should be. But Fox gets a bad rap as being like the Trump shows, sure. But what's MSNBC? It's like 24-hour programming anti-Trump.
They should just rename themselves the Resistance TV Network.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And CNN's not much better. And, you know, if there's one network that should be held to the highest standard, it's CNN. They were the original cable news outlet. They should be held to a higher standard than everybody. Now, I will admit that, and it's even kind of changed a little bit, you know, the Blaze was always kind of middle of the road, and we all know that they definitely weren't pro-Trump, but they brought it back a little bit and added in a little bit more, yes, you know, Trump is doing good here, Trump is doing good there, and now all of a sudden they're labeled, you know, just this right-wing crazy Trump train network because they say something good. If you say anything good about Trump, it's a problem. That's the problem. You know, all these people that complained for 8 years that people on the right were thinking binary and they couldn't agree with anything Obama did are doing the exact same thing. When the whole time, we all, for the most part, gave Obama a chance. I did. I gave him a chance for the first year. They didn't give Trump the first day.
I'm not sure I gave him the first year. I think I tried, I really did, but one of the first turning points for me was when I had found out that the Republicans had gone in after he had won and said, look, this is what we're willing to do. And then the story leaked about him basically being completely cocky and putting his foot up on the desk and the hands behind the neck, sitting back with the Cheshire Cat grin. Well, boys, elections have consequences, and I won, so this is what we're going to do. I don't like that on either side, and that's one of the things. And
Trump hasn't done that to the Democrats.
No,
he hasn't done that. He's tried to reach across the aisle quite a few times. And what do? They slap his hand away.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what they do every single time. But I think part of it is I think some of the Democrats are in shock because you remember, up until 5 seconds ago, they thought he was one. And I've actually heard that from people that are Democrats, and they're like, oh, up until 5 seconds ago, I thought he was a Democrat. When did he decide to change parties? I'm like, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm still waiting, and I hope I'm wrong, for the day that he basically takes the hard shift left, because there have been some hints of it. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but we'll have to see. But the one and I really hope it doesn't happen, because the thing about it is, again, when you go back to the left, they have nothing left in their playbook, because as soon as you disagree with them, the first thing they do is yell racist, and nobody cares anymore. Then they're going to come up with something else to try to call you. Like I had somebody who sent me a DM not too long ago. When they realized that I wasn't offended by the word racist, they started trying to call me a pedophile. I'm like, look, you can call me whatever names you want. It's not going to change anything, because I know who I am on the inside. That's what I've always wanted the politicians to do, is be like, look, I don't care what you call me. I don't care what you say about me. My family knows who I am. My friends know who I am. My constituents know who I am. So if you want to know who I am, then you go talk to the people that I work for, and they will tell you if I'm any of those things. Ask my wife if I'm any of those things, and she will tell you. Ask my children if I'm any of those things, and they will tell you. And that's what maybe the politicians still aren't really doing it yet, but the American people are finally standing up and doing it. We're like, look, you know what? You have bullied us with this name stuff as soon as we've said something that you've disagreed with for way too long, and we're done letting you do that anymore, because it doesn't matter, because it's just a name. I'm not a racist. I don't know if you're a racist. I don't care if you're a racist. Stop calling me names.
Well, that's it. I told you about that thread the other day where I was called a Trump tard. And I came back at the one guy, and I said, look, I'm not going to go at it with you. You're just a child. And you know what his comeback to me was? Oh, you just think about children like Trump. You're a pedophile. That was the comeback. That was the freaking comeback. That was me telling him, don't call me a tard, or I intellectually will not debate you. His comeback was, oh, you like babies like Trump, or you like children like Trump. That was his comeback. That was his intellectual comeback to me, and then he blocked me.
Yeah, well, you're better off with
and
that.
This is a guy that calls himself a conservative. He's in the conservative resistance.
Okay, if you're conservative and you're still calling yourself resistance, you're a liberal wannabe wearing the wrong panties.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? All right, we are extremely long for a break, so we should probably take one real quick. This is the Robinson and Wright Show, and we'll be right back right here live on KLRradio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. And yes, I'm letting this one play for a minute, so man.
And now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you've been asking for. This means war. Line 'em up, knock 'em down. This means war.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org. Welcome back. This is, almost said America Off the Rails. We haven't done this in a bit. Robinson and Wright coming to you live right now from KLRNradio.com, where liberty and reason still reign. And we are way long on that first break, so I don't know when Dan plans on calling it. Technically, by my clock, we have like 14 minutes left, and that would put us at actually a full hour of, and that doesn't even count the aborted attempt at the beginning when the mic wasn't working. So,
well, that works for me, because if some of you know how my week was, and you do, I moved this week. Basically, moved yesterday, and to take yesterday and today off, I had to do like 7 days worth of work in 3 days.
Wait, I thought they usually had you doing that anyway, so shouldn't you be used to that by now?
No, usually it's like 5 days worth in 3 days. They pushed it to 7 this time.
Okay, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. There was something else that I wanted to talk about for at least the last few minutes, and now I can't remember what it was. I'm blaming Gay Patriot, dude. I seriously am, because I have been a mess. I have been a mess ever since I saw that, and I'm just like, oh my god, I cannot. I mean, literally, that's just it's terrible.
You can't unsee that. Yet you're drawn to look at it every once in a while, aren't you?
No, actually, well, the thing about it is, and this is something that I thought I had told you before. I have a really, really good memory. I used to have fairly close to perfect recall until I started getting older, and apparently there are certain parts of my brain that have superfluous information now, so things are starting to get a little full. But sadly, it's one of those things, especially if it's like a picture of something. Once I see something like that, I can't unsee it. I'm bad with names now. Half the time I can't remember where I put my car keys. But if I read something or I see it in a picture form, it's like permanently burned in there. So thanks, Gay Patriot, because I'm going to every time anybody probably unfortunately mentions Trump, that's probably going to be the first thing that I'm going to see in my head.
Yeah.
The bastage.
Yeah. I'll send you a bottle of bleach.
I don't know if I don't know if that's going to do it, brother. But we can try.
No, don't pour it in your eyes. Don't pour it in your eyes. Just drink it.
So you're trying.
Everything will be better.
So basically, what you're saying is you're trying to bump me off so you can have a solo show. Is that what you're saying?
No, I had that. Remember?
I was gonna say, if you want a solo show that bad, all you gotta do is ask, my man. But anyway. Oh, so I guess. I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's been like 4 million different kinds of news stories, so it's not like there hasn't been an abundance of things to talk about, which I think is part of the reason why I'm kind of all over the place tonight.
Well, that's it. I mean, the last 2 weeks, you and I both had talked, and we were like, oh my God, we got so much stuff to talk about. And then for reasons out of our control, we didn't do a show. So we have this whole backlog of stuff that we've been wanting to spew.
And I think that's part of the problem is there's been so much that we've wanted to talk about that now it's just like I still really don't even know where to start because it's all such a mess. I think guess
everything is moving so fast.
Well, I guess
everything just moves so fast.
I guess the one thing that I will say that I've liked to see from the reactions from like the Politico cartoon that got put out that was making fun of the people that were being flooded in Texas, to the reaction from the Charlie Hebdo thing. What I will say, because the thing that I've expected to see that I haven't seen really up until now, was the American people starting to come back together. I will say the one thing that seems to be coming to pass out of this Houston scenario is a lot of people that were ticked at each other 5 days ago, they're not anymore. Because right now there are bigger issues. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. At this point, it doesn't even matter whether you're here legally or illegally. People are just out to try to help you and to save your life and to try to make sure that you and your family are okay. And it's just been something interesting to watch because there's been an entire shift, and it's like, because up until now, we've had the media trying to divide us. We've had a lot of the politicians trying to divide us. But we're seeing through things like the flooding in Texas that people are coming back together again. Even if it's only for a short time, they're putting their differences aside. They're not buying into all the media crap anymore, and they're not buying into all the politicians that are still trying to divide people and pigeonhole them and fit the round pegs in the round holes and blah 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 and categorize everybody. And it's just, that's the one positive that I think I can take from all of that. That and seeing all the people that have been willing to do things to help. It's been kind of interesting to keep up with.
One, I do want to, say something that just totally has kind of really impressed me is, and I know you've been following it a little bit, is J.J. Watt, the football player. He started a fund, and he wanted to, he started it off, he wanted to raise $500,000. Today he rolled over $15 million that he has raised. Plus, on top of it, he's got basically a warehouse full of goods people have donated. And, I kind of put it out there. I mean, I basically said, J.J. Watt is, instead of taking a knee, he's standing up and doing what should be done. And he's maybe at least a little bit rejuvenated my faith in the NFL. I almost want to maybe watch a game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
because it's a total opposite. But it's a total opposite of what we've been seeing. He's standing up and doing what should be done.
Well, no, I mean, I'll give him that. I don't know. I've lost a lot of respect for the NFL all over the place, and it's not really just the NFL in total. A lot of it has to do with not only the NFL seeming to take a hard turn to the left, ESPN taking a hard turn to the left has also really annoyed me because, and I think this was one of the things that we touched on one of the last shows that we did. It makes no sense to me because most of the people that watch football and most of the people that watch ESPN are not namby-pamby latte drinking liberals. They're conservatives. So why are they turning against the people that are paying their bills?
That's a good question.
I mean, because despite what people
The
think, ESPN is not making boat tons of money anymore. Disney is actually having to consider...
No, ESPN's in the dumpster right now.
Disney, who is actually their parent company, which I didn't know that until 2 or 3 weeks ago when I researched it a bit, is actually having to determine if they're going to let some of the game schedule go because they're not making enough money from their ad revenue to justify the cost of carrying the games. And now ESPN has decided at some point to invest all of this money into an app that sucks. Nobody likes it. Everybody complains about it. And it's literally cost Disney millions and millions and millions of dollars to put out a broke product. And if they don't figure out that they're pissing off the people that actually want to watch channels like ESPN, then eventually it's going to go away. It's going to go the way of MTV, because MTV had a market. There were people that liked to sit down and watch music videos, and they would leave it on while they were doing other things, and they would come to it and they would go away from it. But the problem is MTV at some point realized you can't really put commercials into stuff that people only watch for like 3 minutes, which makes no sense to me because they do it on radio all the time. So why didn't MTV get smart and put some sort of audio stuff in there and make it kind of like the videos, where whether they were watching it or not, at least they were hearing it? Because I remember when I was a kid, that was the first thing I did when MTV came out. Man, I would come home, I'd be doing my homework, I'd turn on MTV, and I'd have it cranked up while I was sitting at the kitchen table doing my homework. It drove my mom crazy every time she came home, but it's what we did. Because it was just awesome to think about the fact that we could actually watch music on TV. And now you can't even find music on MTV. There's 12 different channels of MTV now, and none of them play music, which seems kind of odd to me.
No, now we watch it on YouTube.
Well, this is true. I mean, we have YouTube, Spotify, all these different ways to basically have music in the palm of our hand now. I was thinking about that the other day, because I remember when I was a kid when we used to have to carry around those big bulky Walkmans to be able to listen to music. Now you've got like a computer in your hand or in your pocket 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But sorry, I kind of got sidetracked. But I just don't understand both the NFL and both ESPN making decisions that are going to destroy themselves. But it's the way of the world. Because it's like people figure out the way things work, and eventually they run into the ground. I actually left a company that did much the same thing.
It's what you look at ESPN. I mean, they lost NASCAR. The races that ESPN carried are now mostly on Fox Sports or Fox, and the ratings have gone up. They lost the NHRA, which is completely on Fox Sports 1 now, and the ratings have gone up. ESPN they've dug themselves into this hole, and they're not going to get out of it. They're going to keep getting bailed out because of their parent company. But, they keep making more channels and more channels to do this or do that, but nobody's watching. I can't tell you the last time I turned ESPN on. I can't. And 15, 20 years ago, ESPN was my go-to for sports. They don't even, they literally have nothing I want to watch anymore. It's all gone. And it's being done better by other networks.
And that's just sad to think about, because, it reminds me of when I went to work for Southwest Airlines. Because and as far as I'm concerned, they're still probably one of the number one airlines in the country. But after getting on the inside and starting to work and noticing the differences after Herb Kelleher stepped down, it was eventually why I left, because I was watching something that Herb built from the ground up be cannibalized and torn apart. And it's not anywhere near the company that it was when I started there. And that's why I eventually left and moved on to where I am now, because I couldn't bear to watch it. Because as somebody that has built businesses before and know what it takes to do that, to the amount of yourself you put into something, just to watch it be torn apart by other people that didn't understand the love and the time that you put into it, because to them it's just about the money. And I mean, I understand those decisions as far as from the Southwest perspective, because after 9/11, the airline industry completely changed. They had to find ways to start becoming more competitive. They had to find ways to earn revenue because everything got more expensive. Because there's all of these different things that they have to go through now that they didn't used to have to go through before. But I still don't understand it with ESPN, because you are literally... I mean, I watched the other night. I guess it was a few months ago. The other night it was on the car radio because the wife decided that she wanted to find out some information about the fight that we were getting the next day. But a few months ago, I was flipping through and I turned on one of the guys that I used to like to listen to that was on ESPN. He was talking, and they had a little crawler thing going across the bottom of the screen, and it's like, up next after the break, so-and-so talks about his love of lasagna. On freaking ESPN, you're going to talk about lasagna? What? What is this, the Food Network? There's like 12 channels of food stuff now. If I want to hear about lasagna or what goes good with what wine, I can find a channel to do that. You guys are the sports channel. Act like a damn sports channel. Okay, sorry, I'm ranty. I think I may have lost Dan. It says he's still there. I'm not sure what happened. Alright, so anyway, at this point, we are kind of at an hour anyway, so I'm thinking he may have just muted himself and let me rant.
No, I'm here.
Okay, anyway.
And yes, I did. I hit mute, and then my phone went into, oh shit, I need to get it all, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need to get it all back.
Not a big deal. Alright, so anyway, we're a little long anyway, so why don't you remind folks where it is that they can hang out with you when you're not on the radio hanging out with me, assuming you don't get kicked off again anytime soon. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
You know what?
This
I've
last
been
month
here
it
for
was
a while
RB,
now.
so... Well, I was going to say this last time it was RB, so I'm wondering if it's going to come back around to you. Not that I'm trying to jinx you or anything.
And Rick Canton still hasn't gotten his account back.
Dude, what is up? I don't understand Twitter, because 90 I would say at least 60-40 of the people on Twitter are more conservative leaning, or at least they were until a lot of the, well, I guess they probably still are, because the really crazy ones that I don't really consider conservative have all fled to Gab, which I made the mistake of setting up an account there once. Don't ever do that.
No.
It's a very scary alternate universe place that looks somewhat like Twitter, but is very, very creepy.
And they seem to like to let your personal information leak.
Oh, that doesn't surprise
which is not a good thing.
That does.
But yeah, anyway, on Twitter you can find me at MadFeist, spelled wrong, F-I-E-S-T. And you can find me on Facebook and my real name, Daniel Wright.
And so I have a question, because you keep saying MadFeist spelled wrong. Is there a way to spell that right? Because I wasn't even aware.
Yes, a Feist is a dog, which I own one of, and it's actually spelled F-E-I-S-T. But I couldn't get MadFeist spelled that way because someone already had it. So I spelled it wrong.
Okay, well, no, I was just curious because I kept meaning to ask you. I was like, I'm sure there's a word there that I should know that I don't. So I figured I'd finally just go ahead and ask. All right,
that account started as a British guy because it was my sock account because I kept getting suspended.
I still have a Rickroll account floating around somewhere that I haven't used. His name was Captain Rickroll. I used to just randomly get Angie anytime she was on. Then she figured out it was me running it, and she's like, I hate you.
She likes to say that.
Alright, but anyway, I, of course, am Rick Robinson. You can follow along with me at AOTR_host. Get paid to talk for a living and occasionally still can't manage to pull it off. And, of course, you can email me at rick@klrnradio.com. That is, of course, again, rick@klrnradio.com. Or you can find me on Facebook by searching Rick Robinson. Look for the goofy picture with the little cartoon guy. Looks like he's on the cover of Time magazine. No, I don't have delusions of grandeur. I'm just hoping one day that actually happens. No, not really. Just there were like 4 million other Rick Robinsons, so I wanted to make sure that I stood out. And on that note, we are officially done for the night, folks. As far as I know, we will be back next week. However, I had thought that there was going to be an away game with some long travel, which I'd already explained to the wife. I won't be doing those because I don't like sitting in a car for 3 hours one way just to go watch a game and drive 3 hours back. However, it turns out there's at least one more home game, which is next week. So we may be a few minutes late again, but as far as I know, we still plan on doing this thing next week. Any last words before I play the music to get us out of here?
No, just thank you all for listening, and looks like we're not raining now, but we made it through without losing power or anything, and it was pouring most of the time we were on the air.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're out. We'll be back next week. And actually, I meant to do this on the way back in. For those of you who are wondering about the bumper music, that is the newest single from Madison Rising. It is their new single entitled War. And I do encourage you to go check it out. Maybe buy it. It's available on iTunes. We're out, folks. Good night. God bless.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you've been asking for.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. Medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.